welcome back to Project L405. This journey is almost over. There's one more thing I want to put on this vehicle before we send it off to Cars and Bids. It is an A-frame. The Range Rover is beautiful, the lines are perfect. We're not going with a roof rack. I think it's going to cause too much noise when you daily drive it, but we still need to add a place for our off-road lights, and that's where our A-bar comes in. Cue the intro. I'll meet you back here. We're going to get this bumper off and put on the A-bar. First thing you need to do is get the bumper cover off, which we have done. If you're looking to see how to do that, I go step by step in our hidden winch video for the L405. So I can put a link down there if you want. That way you can get up to speed here with me. Now that we have the bumper cover off, I need to put in the upper support bracket. We're going to take out this bolt right here. It is a 13 mil head. It's a factory bolt. We're gonna put in a new bolt and bracket. Like so. I'll bring the camera in, we'll run this in, and we'll move to the next step. All right, guys, now that we have the two inner brackets done, that is the end of this job being easy. We need to now put the front bumper cover on and mark where it's going to need to be trimmed. I made a little piece of metal like this that would stick out. That way when I put the front bumper cover on, I can kind of tap it with my hand and it'll mark the inside. There's no real easy way to do it, and every one of these bumpers is different depending on the year. You're in trouble. I don't know what else to tell you. So find something straight edge there. That way when you put the bumper on, you can mark it and align it, and we're gonna put a cut in it. I'm going to show you how to do that, but remember, my bumper is a 16. If you have a different one that's not supercharged, blah, 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 they're all different, so beware. Okay, I just took a piece of angle iron and chopped it up. Get that at any Lowe's or Home Depot. Even just a piece of flat stock would work. Put that on. Next up is the horrible game of on again, off again, on again with the bumper cover. I'm gonna put it up, I'm gonna put it in there, I'm gonna tap it gently, find out where this lines up. Then we'll go onto the inside, make sure there's nothing in the way, mark it, back and forth. Then we'll put a little slit in there and, well, you'll see, long ride. Here we go. If you look in there, you can see the little aluminum strip. I'm gonna reach my hand up inside. And it is rubbing up against a piece of plastic, not letting it get to the front. I've made a mark on it, and we'll take a look at that. Get that out of the way first. All right, I'm gonna just mark it up easier for the camera. Right here, the little outrigger is trying to come out of the front of the bumper. So we need to kind of notch this out of the way. And then I know that we got to cut into the bumper, so I'm going to remove this plastic. I'm still going to leave this upper portion so the valance has something to connect to. Okay, with that ground out of the way, we're gonna put the bumper back on. Then I can put a little mark with my marker, then we'll take it back off. We'll make sure everything is out of the way. We'll put a little cut in it, and then we'll start to make the holes where they need to be for both sides. That way I can put it all together at once. All right, guys, I got so excited. I'm gonna kind of jump this up in the timeline. So if you're seeing the bumper on, you're asking why? Why? Because when it's off and we're doing all the massaging, make sure you take out the park distance sensors. You can do it at this stage. It's just not as much fun. Okay, park distance sensors out. Let's go back to me babbling on about how we're gonna fit these. If you look real close, you can kind of see that mark. That's where our little metal piece is on the back side. I'm gonna get my hand in there. I'm gonna put a marker on the back side and we'll pull the bumper off and see what we got. There's the area that we removed the plastic that was in the way, and there's a little bump in it that we saw going through the paint, and there's my line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just notch that. I'm going to put it back on the vehicle and use a little thin piece of metal to make sure that this is aligned right, and we will widen the hole until it is good to go. There's the new mark, and just for reference, this is what it looks like after you've widened it up enough. Let me grab one of the outriggers. There you go. That's going to be the next step, is to get these inside. So what I need to do is enlarge this hole as little as possible, but enough that it gives it wiggle room, because you got to kind of put these in and be able to clip them in place. Worst case scenario, you put a bigger hole, but trying to keep it as clean as possible. Now that we've got the slots where we need them, it gets even more difficult. We've got to wiggle these bad boys in and then slide them at an angle over the bolts. So like that, and then you hook them. It's not hooked up, but I'm gonna struggle, get my hands in there, align it, and then I'm gonna do this side. Once both of them are in there with the nuts on but not tightened down, we'll start to put the bumper back together. Now that my time on the struggle bus is over, I verified that everything's gonna fit in place. I'm gonna start to put the front bumper cover back on, and then we're like 4 bolts away. Well, no, we still gotta do the park distance sensors, so we better do that first. I got ahead of myself. We're gonna do the park distance sensors, then we're a few bolts away. We're gonna wanna take the wiring harness extension for the park distance sensors, hook them up, and kind of work them out so they come out underneath the A-bar bracket. I'm really good at this. There we go. Up, we got to tighten the 2 bolts on each side for these brackets. If you're better than me, and I know that's a low bar, you can get an extension with a swivel, slide that through, and then tighten it down. Like I said, shouldn't be too hard. If I can do it, you can definitely do it. We are ready for the home stretch. It is put the bumper back together time. Don't forget there's a wiring harness here and 2 washer jets that you need to connect on the other side. I'm gonna slap this all back together and then we will be ready to install the A-bar. With the A-bar bolted up, next thing we want to do is connect our park distance sensors. I like to put a little zip tie here to hold them against that arm, and this job will be done. All right, job done. Like I said, it's not an easy job, but the end result is awesome. A-bar on the front of an L405. I believe it is the first in the world. And I'm gonna take this outside, get some beauty shots, daydream about what kind of lights to put in it. And if you're looking for this car, it will be available on Cars and Bids. All right, guys, I'll see you on the next one.